That's Nick.
And that's Joseph. And today we're here to talk about The Amazing Maurice, which Viva Pictures is releasing February 3rd, 2023. It is directed by Toby Genkel, co-directed by Florian Westermann, a German-UK co-production. It's based on the book by Terry Pratchett, The Amazing Maurice and His Educated Rats.
Do I know these people's other films?
No, a mixture of German and English language animated films. Technically, this is Mr. Genkel's 10th animated narrative feature. His last one was 2021's The Oglies. I haven't seen anything he's done previously.
I didn't care for this one.
No, I was kind of surprised at how dry it was.
I don't think it's like a terribly made movie. It's probably the most dull animation I've ever seen in like the story and the
Characters.
the character and the mood. But it's I feel so weird about it because it is well done. I think the voice acting is very well done, but it just...
The voice acting's okay. I wasn't really that impressed with Emilia Clarke, but...
Oh, wow. Yeah. Ugh. Anyway, I agreed to watch it because I thought, a talking cat and his band of like intelligent mice, and I'm assuming he was going to be super witty and funny, and it's... Yeah. There aren't a lot of jokes. I'm not sure who this would be for because the pacing of it and I just can't imagine kids being into it.
Even at an hour and a half, I thought it felt really long.
It's like 85 minutes. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it felt long. But go ahead.
And what's notable too is Terry Rossio wrote the script, who is Oscar nominated for having written Shrek. He wrote Disney's Aladdin, that Denzel Washington movie Deja Vu. So very interesting, seasoned writer. Maybe he was bored with writing this. I don't know.
Well, it's based on a book, which I'm not familiar with. But the basic story of this movie is there is a cat named Maurice, and Maurice can talk.
Voiced by Hugh, Laurie.
And he is a con artist. He's made friends with this human boy and a group of rats that can talk, and they're quite intelligent. And their hustle is, it's set in like old-timey time, like back when the plague was of concern.
Which the plague ended in like 1351, so there are a lot of anachronisms.
So they go from village to village, and the rats sort of pretend to like infest the village. And then here comes Maurice the cat telling the villagers like, oh, you have a rat problem, I can help you with that. I can get you the Pied Piper. So then this human boy comes along. What's the character's name?
Keith.
Keith comes along with his little pipe, flushes out the rats, and then they pay the cat. And the hustle is the cat is taking this money for his own use, but of course, for the human boy, he's under the impression that he'll get some of the money. And for the rats, Maurice has told them that he can lead them eventually to a place where all animals talk. Mm-hmm. So they end up at one village, which is the main story, where all the food is gone, there are no rats, and it's pretty desolate. And we find out that this little village has been overrun by the Rat King. And the Rat King is like when all these rats get together and get knotted up and turn into one entity. And basically, Maurice, with the help of his rat buddies, defeat the Rat King. Basically, the end.
Yeah, there you go. Meanwhile, there's, I thought, a very grating character named Malicia, voiced by Emilia Clarke.
Which I didn't even mention, but she narrates basically the story.
She opens the story telling this is a framed narrative with the book about this rabbit that is the template that Maurice is using to fool these rats, saying like, see, there's a land of talking animals.
She lives in the village that's being overrun by the Rat King, and she's like, I'll help you all because no one's going to believe me if I tell you there are talking rats. Even though the people see the talking, like, we see humans witness the rats talking, and people also know that there's a talking cat. So why wouldn't they believe there are talking rats or whatever?
And she's also the mayor's daughter. There is an explanation for why these specific animals can talk.
So we're told that the rats can talk and are intelligent because there is like an alternate universe where magic exists, and when the beings from this universe empty their trash, it falls down to Earth, and the rats were eating the magic trash.
So it's like magic toxic waste.
But then the script also makes a point of saying that Maurice, the cat, didn't eat the magic trash. So we don't know why he's talking. I thought that was so weird. Why not just let them all eat the magic trash? Because it all sounds crazy. My biggest issue with this, besides it not being funny and slow-paced and dull, is that it doesn't really create I feel like there's no world building.
No, and Maurice is the titular character, but I feel like he's kind of on the side for a lot of it. I think these kids that we spend all this time with that I really could care less about.
I almost feel like this should have been about the talking rats and the Rat King. That could have been more fun.
Although I do like David Thewlis as the Rat King, whose voice you should probably recognize as the Shame Monster, but you've seen in a ton of films.
That's probably the most interesting character in the story.
Yes, and also how that's kind of a thing where there's conditions where these rats get stuck together and kind of become this
I have very few notes. We see a scene where the rats are involved. So the reason Maurice, because he's not a good cat. I mean, he's selfish and a con artist, but some of his rat friends get caught by the Rat King. So he, along with his human friend and the lady, commit to trying to save them. But there's a point where there's like a dog fight with the rats, and even that was kind of dull. I feel like that could have been a moment where things should have been exciting, and it's just like, okay.
Well, even the zany song that opens the film, which is Maurice singing to the town about how they have a problem with rats, I thought that was really, really flat.
The way they're able to defeat the Rat King is they find the actual Pied Piper, who I thought was so creepy.
Voiced by Rob Brydon, yeah.
And they steal his pipe, or whatever he's playing. Yeah.
His pipe.
Is that what it's called? His crack pipe? I don't know. It looks like a clarinet. I don't know what that is.
His flute.
Wait, what? Flute. That's what I was... there was one funny line I thought. The Rat King says that humans are the vermin of the world. Mm-hmm. And I thought, you're right.
Sure. And then there's this whole thing where what's the leader of their little rat pack is called Dangerous Beans, voiced by David Tennant, right? Who's almost like a soothsayer.
Yes.
Type, and he's trying to say that it's his goal to make humans aware of them and how to exist peaceably. And it's like, okay.
Is he the one who tap dances?
No, that's Sardines.
I didn't think any of the characters would be anything that like kids would be into.
No.
None of them are fun. None of them have any funny lines.
Even Gemma Arterton voices Peaches, who's also supposed to be this kind of comic relief lady mouse, and she doesn't have much to do.
Because when I agreed to watch it, I was thinking, oh, maybe this will be in the same vein as like the Fantastic Mr. Fox.
Sure. Or I was even hoping the Box Trolls.
Oh, sure.
Which I really liked.
Yeah.
Or Ratatouille, which I haven't seen, but I think how this is advertised, people might think that it's
I of course thought Ratatouille first, and I have seen that, but yeah, it's just not giving anything. But again, I feel bad because it's not a bad movie. It's just droll. Like,
well, I don't think you could even say it's droll. I think it's dry. It's just dried out.
What does droll mean?
Well, it's kind of a dry humor.
Oh, right. No, it's not. Yeah.
Yeah.
No. Yeah. You're right. Yeah, it's just like very flat and.
And you know, the Pied Piper story is disturbing.
Well,
on itself, but
like that could have. I mean, I know that's a separate story, and that's not the movie they're making. But it's just like there were so many other opportunities to make this. Again, there's no world building. It's just like they're talking rats because of magic trash, and then the resolve is very like inconsequential.
Chud. It reminded me of there's a really bizarre Pied Piper movie that Jacques Demy made in 1972, starring Donovan, the singer. Which is, I'm not going to say that's a great film, but it's weird and worth watching. But
when Keith plays the Pied Piper's instrument to break up the Rat King, we both thought it sounded like My Heart Will Go On.
Yeah, I'm like,
I thought that was weird.
Celine Dion. And Maurice's dentition reminded me of Rebel Wilson.
You kept saying that damn cat looks like Rebel Wilson.
It's that smile, because it's like, oh, you have too many teeth.
I don't think he was that interesting, unfortunately.
No, he wasn't.
Yeah, the cat is just none of it. It was a bear to sit through.
I'm was, sorry. And I like Hugh, Laurie. I like most of these people doing their voice work, but
what would you give it? 2,
and I think that's being fair.
I would give it 2 out of 5. Unfortunately, anything else?
No.
Hit the thanks button. Listen to our podcast. Bye.